Hello. Coffee and tissue. That's how I'm starting my day. So, it's been a minute. I've been going back and forth, waiting and deciding when to share my new updates or share my life. And I think now is the time. Let's just jump right into it. Thank you for being here. Please like if you're interested and don't forget to subscribe. So the first thing I want to talk about is the final chapter, the final segment of Telling My Truth. If you're not familiar with it, it's a playlist on my channel, basically telling my life story of how I've been abused and neglected, and how I came to realize what was going on and how I realized I'm the scapegoat. And that's all in previous videos. I have 4 of them. It's under Telling My Truth. It's a playlist. Check it out. But yeah, today is the last kind of discussion about this, because I finally got my closure. I finally have understood and see it with my own eyes that it is what it is. And what I mean by that is I'm using AI to help me explain in a way that is not pointing fingers and basically just says what I want to say in a better way. So I quote, this is Gemini, but I'm sorry, this is ChatGPT, but it's exactly what I'm trying to say, but in a respectful way. So it says, so again, I'm talking about closure. Well, how did I get closure after years and years of trying to prove myself to my family and prove that I'm not what they say I am? So this is my answer. One of the things that gave me a lot of closure recently was seeing messages between my mom and my siblings. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that seeing those messages didn't hurt, because it did. What really stood out to me was a double standard. And if you're not familiar with the double standard, I have a lot of educational vocabulary in one of my videos of Telling My Truth. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd one. Check it out. So yes, double standard. I spoke publicly and directly about my own experiences. I talked about things that happened to me, things I experienced within my own family, and how things affected me. I didn't have a problem saying what I believed happened. I didn't hide behind somebody else. I put my own name and my own experiences behind what I said. And then I saw the messages where I was being described as out of control and stupid. And honestly, that gave me closure, because for so long, I think a part of me was still wondering, do they actually see me this way? Do they really think I'm just crazy and dramatic or out of control? And then I saw it. Instead of making me want to argue with them, it actually made me realize that I don't need to, because I'm allowed to tell my own story. You don't have to agree with my version of events. You don't even have to like how I tell it. You don't even have to believe me, because you don't. But you don't get to take away my right to speak about my own life. And that's the part that bothered me about being called out of control. Because what exactly is out of control about finally speaking openly about things that I've been carrying for years? If I had been lying about somebody else's life, that's one thing. But I was talking about mine. And I think that's what I finally understood. That's what I finally understand now. I spent so much time wanting my family to validate my experiences that I forgot something really important. They don't have to validate it for me. They don't have to validate it for it to have happened. I know what I lived, and seeing those messages didn't destroy me. It actually gave me the closure I needed to stop waiting for them to understand. So I'm not making this video to convince my siblings that I'm right. I'm making it because I'm finally at a point where I don't need them to agree with me anymore. And it's kind of crazy because, well, how did I reach this point? Obviously, yes, the message is yes, but it's the fact that I'm going to go into a little bit of history here. My siblings are older, a lot older, 10 and 15 years older than I am. So we did not live the same life. We did not live the same childhood. We did not get the same version of our parents that Every single person, one of us did. We each got different versions of our family. So what they may have experienced, I am not belittling. But what I experienced, they have no right to belittle either, because they don't know. Just like I don't know what happened to them. So when I tell my story about the things that have happened, and then deny it, or look the other way, or gaslight me, or passive aggressive, that is what gets under my skin, because I have tried time and time again to be believed and to, make them understand. But there's people that can't understand or won't understand, and this is the point where I realize they won't, because they don't want to. And that's fine. I got my closure. I'm not gonna keep going in circles anymore. That being said, how did I reach this point? How did I get this far in life? And that is because a year ago, August 17th, I had basically claimed homeless status. I was living with my mom. It was very abusive, very toxic, and I just couldn't do it anymore. If I want to heal, you cannot heal in a toxic environment. If you have mental health problems and you know that you're being triggered in that environment, it's not going to get any better. No matter the fucking pills you take, no matter this, that, this, the third, it will not help you. It's kind of like having an open cut or open wound in an ocean or around sharks. You're always going to be a target no matter what you do until you heal those wounds. But you can't heal if you're constantly in that environment. So I realized, you know what the fuck am I gonna do? I can't do this. So I went to the hospital as a 5150, like a danger to myself, but I was not a danger to myself. I clarified I'm not here because I'm suicidal. I'm here because I will end up if I don't get out. It's not funny. So they basically, hey, your only option is to be homeless. Like, if you don't want to go home, we can put you in a homeless shelter. I was not forced to leave the house. I was not forced to, go on the street. I willingly decided, you know what, fuck this. And I went to a homeless shelter, and I was there from August to November, but my health insurance was paying for the housing, and it was basically not approved. So I was forced to leave the homeless shelter and back to my mom's house. And I just felt like a failure. I felt like I can't even be in a homeless shelter. Like, I can't even do that. But being in that shelter, dude, like, it was rock bottom. Like, I thought, Dancing with Death, when I had my seizure in April of last year and I was intubated and basically in the ICU fighting for my life on the ventilator, that was rock bottom. And that just basically continued into my life. Like, I almost died. I should have died. I could have died. I would have died. And that kind of made me grow a backbone, or that made me realize, who the fuck am I letting people walk all over me and dictate my life? Like, fuck that. So that is why I decided to go to the homeless shelter, because by July of last year, the DMV found out that I had a seizure, and it's like a California state law that they have to medically suspend your driver's license for 6 months. So for 6 months, I had no way of driving by law. And I lost my job with Uber because they're like, well, why do you have a suspended license? You're not supposed to do that. You're fired. So that's when I had no choice but to start my Blue Page, OnlyFans. And I previously had one in the past for fun, but I didn't take it seriously. Like, it was just, but this time it was my only option to survive. It was my only option to pay for food and whatever necessities I needed to survive, right? So I told myself, once I have my license back and once my car is running, I'm going to hit the ground running. There's no one or nothing stopping me. And that's what happened. January 2026 hit. My mom salvaged my car enough to help me make it run. And I hit the ground running, dude. I was going to 2 community colleges at the same time. Mondays and Wednesdays was one college, Tuesdays and Thursdays was the other college. And then in the middle of that, in the middle of late January, it was a Wednesday, I got a voicemail that I didn't answer because I was in class. The voicemail basically said that I'm on the wait list for this apartment that I'm in right now. It is my turn. If you can salvage the deposit, it's yours, but first come, first serve. So that is why I'm just so, like, confused, you know, like what am I supposed to do? I don't have that kind of money. So that is when my brother generously offered me $300 to pay, and my mom helped with the rest, and we all managed to pitch in. So the switch up from, you know, my family, how I was trying my best to get along with them, and I even invited my brother for ice cream and movies right before the incident with his wife not having my number saved and me acknowledging that she's basically on my socials when we're not friends. And that's kind of what made me realize, like, you can help with the bare minimum, and I'm not expecting it either, but it's kind of like you're doing your due diligence to be seen and cooperative with me, you know what I mean? And I still appreciate that, but just because you do one nice thing for me doesn't change other behaviors that you've done, you know? And that's the thing with my mom, like, it's so rocky right now because I feel like we're in the honeymoon phase. She's being very sweet and very considerate. Like, I called her because her birthday was on Friday, so I tried to be nice, you know? We're not going to talk about my birthday because that's that, but I didn't want to reflect how that happened to her birthday, so I did what I could, you know? And she surprised me on the phone. She said, "Thank you for calling." That's something that I never expected, you know? I say that, but she doesn't say that. So she said that on this weekend, and I was just dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say, but at the same time, I've been hurt by her so many times that it's like, what's the catch? Why are you being nice? So yeah, we got my apartment first week of February, and when I moved into this place, it was 4 walls, and I dead fucking ass, I did not want to unpack my carry-on. That carry-on was with me through the crack house. I lived in a crack house before the homeless shelter. Basically, I ran away once, didn't work out, had to come back home, went to the homeless shelter, didn't work out, had to come back home, and now I have my own home. My own home. So so when I got here, I did ask how to carry on with my basic, like, clothes. Like, my what was mine and most important was in that carry-on. And I kid you not, for like 3-4 weeks, I did not want to open it. I did not want to unpack it. I just left it zipped up in the closet. That's really sad that I was that traumatized and scared to get comfortable and be safe, because I had nowhere safe. So yeah, I'm here now. It's August 25th, and I've been here since February, so I've officially been here like 6 months. And 6 months is just such an important number, the number 6, because from homeless status to being here, it took me 6 months. I went homeless in August, and then by February I had my own home. And now 6 months later, here I am, you know, a year later to the, you know, whole year from homeless. So now it's fucking crazy what can happen in a year. And I'm just so fucking tired, you guys, like, from the bottom of my soul. Like, becoming independent is fucking hard. Like, it's not a joke anymore. Like, it's like, you know, you have to pay for PG&E, you have to pay for the water, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for the fucking Wi-Fi, you have to fucking pay for the toilet paper to wipe your ass. Like, that's just, you know, having a home. Also, my car is fucking, I just can't, dude. I've done so much shit to this fucking car. Like, I kid you not, the check engine light started blinking 3 times. I fixed one thing, started blinking, couldn't drive it. Fixed it, started blinking, can't drive it. And again, Sunday, I did it again where I was trying to do Instacart to pay my bills, and the car stopped working again. And at that point, I was like, it's not even how angry I am at the car not working. It's the fear of, what if? How am I going to pay my phone bill? How am I going to pay my PG&E? How am I going to pay my rent? How? I am not failing. I am not a failure. But I feel defeated. But let me tell you something. I feel defeated, but it's not my final verdict. I've come too far, and I've worked so hard for this that I'm not gonna let it happen. So that is why I again have a new OnlyFans, and that is why I'm doing Instacart, because realistically, like, I have so many medical conditions and problems with my health that is very difficult, and for me to be reliable enough to work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, I just can't. it's just impossible. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and it's not gonna work. So that is why I deadass work independently. I'm basically self-employed. If I want a paycheck, I'm gonna have to work my ass off. I'm gonna have to get up out of bed and go do what I have to do, whether that's take a photo, make content, or go do shopping at 10 or 11 at night, whatever it is, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like some people in my family or people here assume that I just created a blue page because I wanted to, and bam, here I am, you know. And it's like, no, bro, I did ask how to fucking pay for my toilet paper and pay for everything that I have in order to survive. So I know that my reputation is ruined. I worked in education prior. So from being an educator to basically being, you know, on the internet, it's like, it's very depressing and it's very sad because I never thought that this would happen. But given my circumstances and everything that has gone wrong, I was basically in a corner with no other option. And that's kind of what it is. There are days where I'm so fucking proud of myself for the money I've earned and the income I've made and the things I've accomplished. But then there's days where I'm so humiliated and so embarrassed of what led me here and what got me here. And it goes hand in hand. But I've been in survival mode so fucking long. I've been like, I don't have time to process shit because the car, this bill, that bill, your health. I've been constantly in survival mode. That today, I actually, you know, we got the car fixed yesterday. I genuinely think we fixed it because it's running a lot better. It has more power. It was basically, I changed the 4 spark plugs, I changed the purge valve, and I think what it was is a bad coil. So we changed the coil and it seems to be running really good. The next thing I need to do is get an oil change and brakes. But yeah, dude, like, I'm literally all on my own, bro. Like, my apartment is in my name. My car is in my name. I am independent. I am, you know, an adult. And that's fucking crazy. Like, there's so much freedom and so much power being independent, but at the same time, the level of responsibility and the level of stress that comes with it is insane. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense. I genuinely do want to be on YouTube again because I'm not trying to sugarcoat my life. I'm not trying to pretend everything's rainbows and butterflies because it's fucking not. But at the same time, there are good days in my life and I want to, you know, remember the good and the bad. But yeah, so I hope that all makes sense. And yeah, it's just fucking amazing that I am my own boss. I am doing what I'm doing, whether people like it or not, whether I like it or not. It is what's keeping me alive. It's what's keeping the lights on and my roof over my head, you know? And I'm not, you know, I'm not at all telling anyone or anybody, go do what I'm doing, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I did what I had to do with what I had. And I'm very fucking proud of myself for that. Resilient is not even like, it's beyond resilient. My grit, and it's kind of like, I used to be a victim so fucking bad. Why me? Poor me. Somebody save me. Why is this happening? Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. And it's fucking true. It's fucking true. People do not care about you. People will not save you. Even your own goddamn family. Because at the end of the day, you know, when the plane crashes and the masks fall down, no one's gonna put your mask on but you, you know? So that's why I'm not saying to be selfish, but I'm saying, you know, do what makes you happy and do it for you. Stop fucking caring what people's judgment and opinions are of you. You know, note to self, because who the fuck cares if I had to do what I had to do? If I'm getting my shit taken care of and it does no harm to you, then why the fuck do you care? If you did not help me get from the middle of the ocean to the land, and I did it no matter what way it took, you have no right to judge me or point fingers at me for doing what I had to do. But you're gonna do it anyway, so go ahead. So I hope that makes sense, and I really enjoyed this conversation. And yeah, I think I just reached a point where I can breathe because I'm just tired of survival mode, dude. I think that's what a lot of people are in life, in survival mode. And once they reach a point of, you know, calm or a moment of breathing, it's kind of like that's when it hits them. The anxiety attack, the panic attack, the fear, the mental health. I think it was just people can't manage their emotions. People can't handle the waves of grief and pain. Like, that's the thing about me. People always call me sensitive. And it's crazy because, like, I am very empathetic. I am very, like, sensitive to people's feelings. But at the same time, you don't know how many times I've been called self-aware. Oh, wow, you're very self-aware. Oh, wow, like, you know what you're thinking. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. But, like, I'm aware, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I know that's a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, all the years of therapy and all the years of trauma and all the years of shit has really, really finally taught me something, you know? But I think I'm gonna end the video here. I hope that all makes sense. And I don't need to convince you guys that I am a good person, because deep down, God knows and I know. And that's enough for me. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.